This episode is brought to you by King Arthur bread flour. So many of our bread recipes and pizza recipes call for bread flour, and here's why. With a higher protein content than all-purpose flour, bread flour gives you strong, stretchy, elastic doughs that proof and bake gorgeously. Buying bread flour on our website or grocery store shelves, just look for the blue flour bag. From King Arthur Baking Company, this is Things Bakers Know. I'm David Tamarkin, King Arthur's editorial director.
And I'm Jessica Badalana, staff editor at King Arthur Baking. And today we're doing something we have never done before. We're popping into your feed with a very special bonus episode.
Ding dong.
Ding dong, wake up. Here we are. When our friend Chad Robertson, star baker of Tartine Bakery, joined our sourdough episode in May, he also gave us some insider information about a new project that he is opening in New York City. And when that episode aired, we weren't at liberty to share all the details of that project, but we are now. So we are sharing that segment of the interview with you here today.
Yeah, this is the most exciting bakery news of the year by far. I mean,
I think so.
It's exciting for me because, it's just down the street in Brooklyn for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's also exciting because, have we ever broken news? Have you ever in your career broken news?
I've broken news many times, but it has been a while. Yes. I started in hard news.
Yes,
CBS. Yeah, but this is exciting. And I it's important enough that we wanted to share it. And I also just love sneaking up on our listeners to say hi.
I was in New York in April when we were launching the Book of Pizza. And I had an opportunity. Chad is an old friend of mine. And I had an opportunity to go see the new space in Brooklyn. And it's just a stunning freestanding building in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, which I feel like is sort of a unicorn. Giant windows flooded with light, beautiful walnut floors, and just like a very beautiful space with an upstairs that they'll use for education. It has a pastry room. It has a bread room. If you have been to any of the Tartines, the Tartine Manufactory, just like that they also have beautiful design in addition to beautiful breads and pastries. So the space is very stunning. And it's always fun to see a construction site and just see, a bakery emerge out of that. So I'm super excited. I'm also very envious of you. Not for the first time and not for the last time.
Well, I was about to say it's great that you got an inside look because I suspect there will be lines and you'll never get in again.
Yeah, and I know how you feel about lines, so.
I'm never going. I'm going to live vicariously through this interview.
So enjoy this interview.
Yes, let's hear it.
So I think that I probably speak for a lot of your fans in asking, what's happening now? You've relocated from the West Coast to the East Coast. What's going on? What are you up
to? Yeah, it's been quite the journey, kind of looking for new projects to do on my own. And I was connected with someone who's an investor. And this guy was in New York and he's like, I need someone to help me. I need someone to help set up a sourdough pizza thing. And I was like, that could be fun. I mean, no big deal. But, we were looking around in Manhattan and Brooklyn, and we found this building in Brooklyn that was just a very special building. But it was much bigger than, what the original idea of a small pizza place was. And we're not doing pizza. We'll do some version of something, but it's not a pizza place. There's so much good pizza in New York. It's just it's really an incredible time to be here. And it is, kind of an all-day cafe bakery thing on the ground floor, like what you might expect, although I'm really trying not to repeat anything I've done before. Just because I feel like there are a lot of people doing stuff really well that we maybe popularized a long time ago. And it wasn't there really. There wasn't everyone wasn't obsessing over the crumb of their loaf and the long fermentation and the honeycomb
simpler times,
Yeah, the croissants. I mean, croissants are just insane. Everyone's just battling, trying to make the most perfect, and it's beautiful. But it's kind of I want to add something to the already amazing food culture that's here. So I'm really trying to do some different things. And a lot of it honestly is in the vein of what book 3 was, which we worked on together.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff that was in that book, I mean, that was just sort of a free for all in my brain of like whatever. And some of it, I sort of threw a lot at the wall. Some of it stuck. But none of it, except for the oat porridge, really is ever gone into production at Tartine. So, there's a ton of kernels of ideas there. And then, going back to the roots that really influenced me when I first started, which is I've written a couple of pieces, one for Food Arts, sadly no longer with us. You see all these chefs just doing really interesting things around the world, and bread was just kind of bread, like you get it free in a restaurant. It's like,
Right.
wow, like that's kind of a bummer, like no one even wants to pay for it. But I was really inspired by what I saw going on around the world with chefs sort of pushing out of the boundaries of just, Italian or French or whatever traditional food that we all love. And, just having a little more fun with it. But that wasn't really happening in bread. And I feel like, I was always saying like, let's have a little more fun and like experiment a little more and just try to explore the diversity of the grain world, and
so the TLDR is that instead of consulting on a small sourdough pizza place, you're now opening an ambitious new all-day bakery cafe in Williamsburg.
It's an all-day thing. It's the thing that I'm most excited about. I mean, we're gonna be making a bunch of good food all day long, and as we do. I mean, that was another thing I'll say, that because I trained as a chef before a baker. Like when we opened Tartine, I mean, traditionally bakeries would bake all night, right? And then fill the shelves up, and the bakers went home, and the shopkeepers came in and they sold the stuff for a few hours, and then you start over again. We didn't. I don't like working all night. I just refuse to do that. Also, because I had a restaurant that was a dinner only restaurant, and I was there a lot. So it's like, if I'm making croissants and bread, at 6 a.m. and then going into Bar Tartine at 7 or 8 at night and working on stuff with them, and there's like no time to sleep. So
we're not as young as we used to be, Chad.
But Yeah, exactly. So, but the other thing is like, I would rather hand someone a hot loaf of bread. I mean, when people would say like, how did Tartine get so big or whatever? And it didn't for a really long time, by the way, but eventually it did. And a lot of it was just me traveling around, like learning from other people and being kind of an ambassador for whatever it was I thought I was doing. It was a lot of fun, and I learned a ton going around. But a lot of people knew about Tartine because I was doing a lot of that. And even though it's just this tiny place on the corner. But for me, I was always like, let's just bake in real time, small batch baking, like all that stuff that's very common now. That wasn't really the way most American bakeries operated. And then even like when I have chefs come and, like when bread baking became more popular and lots of cooks and chefs wanted to make the transition to baking, they would come in and they would be like, man, this is like a restaurant, but like dinner service is 10 hours long. It's just nonstop. Like this is way like you're not getting orders, you're just constantly making stuff and people are in line, so but we kind of approached, when we opened Tartine, we kind of approached it like a restaurant without, just like kind of giving people fresh stuff all day. And
is that what you're thinking about for the new spot too? That's same sort of.
Yeah, it'll be that. And then, I mean, the part that I'm most excited about actually is upstairs, is where we built like a kitchen. The mill's upstairs. It's basically a teaching space and a space that I can host friends from the city, friends from here, and friends from around the world, which, we've always done that with Tartine and Bar Tartine. And that's just because it's kind of like the most fun thing for me, is just to bring other people together and learn from each other. But that was always like sort of doing it after hours or, on a slow day or whatever. Now we've built like a space that's dedicated to that. And I'm super excited to just invite all my friends to come and do wonderful things together.
That's
so,
awesome.
So it's, for me, it's, it is an all day cafe bakery, but even that part, like I said, everything is going to be new. Everything's going to be sort of, I'm trying to push it, push everything in a direction. Like I said, I want to keep it in the sweet spot where people want to, come a few days a week and get their staples. But something I want to add to the already like really inspiring food community here.
So exciting. I can't wait. And I think a lot of people will be excited to hear this news and to come and see you in this next chapter in this new place. I think it's fun to see creators who just keep pushing forward, and you're definitely one of them. And can you tell us the name of the new spot?
The name is Altbau, which means old building. And when you see the building, you'll understand sort of why we were really smitten with the building. And then, but also it's like, I feel like, I'm kind of an old building myself, and I have it just feels like the right name. We got friends in Texas did the branding, and it all just kind of came together very sort of naturally. That like part of the inspiration in the beginning was the Bauhaus. I've always just loved it. Was a very short-lived movement, but I always loved how they sort of just smashed together art and craft and kind of made no distinction between the two. And this is just your life. And I live a couple blocks away. It is going to be my life, and I want to have, like, Tartine always had a ton of musicians and artists, like making coffee in the morning. It's like I want to have that kind of a hub where it's just people are there doing interesting things all the time. And so yeah, there was some inspiration there. It's also a word that's easy for people to pronounce, like like it's a little bit foreign, but like Tartine, but easy enough.
Yeah.
So I was trying to strike that balance. But my partner was the one that actually he spends a lot of time in Berlin, and he loved that word, and I didn't know what it meant. When I heard it, I was like, I like that word. And then it all kind of made sense once we started. And we're restoring the building. It's an old building. It's gorgeous, but we're putting like reclaimed old growth walnut floors that came from a bakery in Long Island City from the late 1800s. So it's like we're really honoring the building, and it's just a very central location in Brooklyn. So it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to come see you there. Thanks for being so generous with your time and your knowledge for our listeners and for me personally. And come break with bread with you in Brooklyn real soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jess.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Man, I love breaking news. I hope we can do it more often.
We're a breaking news podcast now.
Yeah,
That's
we're basically CNN.
Yeah, exactly. The CNN of baking.
And, I know it is surprising that we hopped on with this bonus episode, but, when you've got news to share, you got to share it. So appreciate, as always, our listeners for listening.
Yep. Remember to like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts, because you never know when we're going to be popping in with a special breaking news episode.
You never know. And you could leave us a review while you're there, or you could share this episode, this breaking news episode, or any of the other episodes with a friend.
And in the meantime, still, advice holds.
Forever.
Follow the recipe.
Follow the recipe.
Things Bakers Know is hosted and executive produced by me, David Tamarkin.
And me, Jessica Badalana.
Rossi Anastapulo is our senior producer. Chad Chennai is our producer, and Marcus Bagala is our engineer. Original music by Megan and Marcus Bagala.
And also big thanks to Chad Robertson, who's just the GOAT, for joining us on this week's episode. You can learn more about him and his new projects via his Instagram at Tartine Baker.
Things Bakers Know is a King Arthur Baking Company podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Broad & Taylor. Broad & Taylor is an independent, family-owned company that builds tools for all bread bakers at every level to transform complex baking challenges into simple pleasures.
I love Broad & Taylor. I mean, they are so passionate about bread and baking. When I talk to those folks, it really feels like I'm talking to someone at King Arthur too. There's that synergy there because we only have one thing on our minds. It's baking, baking, baking.
I love their tools. They really, truly are an asset for every home baker. And you and I both have quite a few of them in our own kitchens. My favorite, I think, is the countertop proofer. I don't know, you're into the baking steel, but they have a lot of great tools.
I love a baking steel.
Whether you're a first-time baker or you're like in deep like us, there's something for you at broadandtaylor.com. That's BRODANDTAYLOR.com.